Gemini, welcome to your December 2018 Astrology and Tarot reading with me, Anoushka. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. Okay, before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be releasing the yearly horoscopes over the next few weeks. They're going to be a mixture of astrology, tarot and numerology, and I'm just going to mix it all in there. So you've got that to look forward to. If you're interested, don't forget to subscribe so that you can be the first to catch those. Right, okay, so congratulations for making it to the end of this crazy retrograde year. It's really been a bit of a doozy for all of us. And hopefully, like many of us, you have learned a lot more about yourself and the direction of life that you want to go in. There's been a lot of loose tying up of loose ends and old ground to cover in order for us to make this fresh start and really usher in this new Jupiter and Sagittarius phase, which we're all going to benefit from. So for you, Jupiter moved into your 7th house, Sagittarius. So this really brings to light your personal one-to-one relationships, be they romantic, be they business, anybody who you deal with on a one-to-one level. So for those of you who might be counselors or work in, in any kind of consulting industry, then this could be a really, really positive time of expanse and growth. Where you could see a lot of new connections, a lot of new clients. You might even find that you're working with people abroad, This is great for PR as well. This is a house that has to do with PR because it's typically ruled by Libra. So yeah, anything to do with consulting, counselling, if you're in those professions, I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see that perhaps you get bigger clients. Like I said, more clients from abroad, that kind of thing. You can take your business international possibly. So as well as this, this can also play out in the area of love and romance, of course. So this could see you wanting to expand your family. That is more of a 4th house thing, but I mean, this could see marriage happening for some of you Geminis. This could see you hooking up with somebody who lives in a different country, or, going to a different country and falling in love and meeting that person. There's a lot of luck around. Foreign places, foreigners, foreign investments, publishing, law, higher learning, travel, all these kinds of things, but somehow they're going to be incorporated into your 7th house, okay, of those one-to-one relationships. As well as this, we also had in November the North Node move into Cancer, which rules your 2nd house. So the North Node in Cancer for you, is, well, for everybody, this is our collective evolution. Okay, so the North Node is where we are as humanity to kind of head towards. So we've come away from Leo, now the nodal axis falls on Cancer and Capricorn. So with the North Node being in Cancer, this means it's about nurturing of self, it's about taking care of self. And I think there's going to be a need to stay grounded whilst we're on our journey over the course of the next year and a half as the North Node remains in Cancer. But this is about nurturing, this is about feeling secure, and this is about what it is that makes us feel secure. So you might find, Gemini, that having your finances in order, making sure that your checkbooks are balancing, making sure there's more money coming in than going out, making sure your investments are sound, all these kinds of things may start to become a real part of you feeling emotionally secure and feeling safe and stable. Okay, so it might start to highlight these things. Also, what I will point out, which I was going to leave until later on, but seeing as we're on this track anyway, is during the month of December, we have got, from the beginning up until mid-month, we have a grand trine happening between the North Node in your 2nd house, which was finances and resources, Chiron in your 10th house, which is the wounded healer. It's a very healing planet. It can also be a planet asteroid that signifies the areas of pain in our life and where there's learning to be had from that pain. Okay, so there's a trine between the North Node in your 2nd, Chiron in your 10th, and Mercury, your ruling planet, in your 7th house. So I kind of see this as being possibly an opportunity, or perhaps some of you are thinking about going into healing professions. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few Geminis out there who are studying psychology, or maybe have finished studying psychology or hypnotherapy or something holistic. looking at starting up a business. So that really interests me because this trine is going on, like I said, from beginning to mid-month. So you could be looking at how can I make money from healing professions and from things like psychology and transformational things, okay? At the same time, this could also just signify a renewed perspective as it comes to your resources and as it comes to where you are heading in terms of your career or what you do out there in the world. There may have been a little bit of difficulty in this area of your life for you, just because Chiron's up there in that 10th house. There might have been times when you felt like you wanted to get ahead but felt a little bit dissuaded, or maybe there was a lack of self-belief, maybe things haven't panned out quite how you wanted. And it could be that now there comes an opportunity for healing and an understanding of, okay, well, that had to happen in order for me to be where I am now. You might spend a lot of time thinking about the direction in which you want to go and whether it really speaks to your soul's truth and your soul's purpose. So that's a really interesting aspect that's taking place, like I said, from the beginning through to the middle of the month. We also have, of course, your ruling planet retrograde as we begin this month, and he's retrograde until around the 6th or 7th, I believe. Yeah. And going from your 6th house into your 7th house of Sagittarius. So with the Sun and Jupiter and Mercury all moving into Sagittarius, your 7th house, you can see that your mind, your communications are very much between you and other people on a one-to-one basis. There's a lot of focus there. There'll be a lot of focus on your partnerships, your romantic partnerships. Perhaps you're talking about to your partner about how you can expand your experience together, be that by buying a bigger home or expanding the family or moving abroad. There's a feeling of wanting more freedom, okay, within these one-to-one personal relationships, perhaps even in business as well, you know, maybe, like I said before, taking the business international. So there's going to be a lot of talks and possibly negotiations, and I think there's a lot of luck that can come from this, and a lot of, I think you could really utilize this energy this month to plan for the year ahead, to make some really long-reaching, far-reaching goals that are realistic and that are backed by a sense of optimism and faith, and a feeling that, you know, you can achieve what it is you want to achieve. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. Right, and then I was also going to tell you about, we have an opposition between Uranus and Venus. Now Venus is in your 5th house, and this is just as we start the month. Then she's due to move into your 6th house of work, day-to-day routines and health. So she's moving from that area of love, romance, children. There might have been some things to look over and to review in terms of children or creativity during this Venus retrograde phase. And now she's going to move into your 6th house. So this is going to start bringing blessings as it comes to health, day-to-day routine, okay, the work that you do for other people. And you might start to find that you just get a little bit more enjoyment on the job, or that you get you know, your superiors are praising you more, and work is a far more harmonious place. Day-to-day life might just pick up a little bit, and you might find yourself having time to smell the roses and enjoying getting on with doing your daily tasks and feeling a sense of happiness whilst doing them. All right, but like I said, Uranus is there in your 11th house of networks, dreams. The kind of, you know, it's our dreams and our goals as well, humanitarian projects, collaborations, and also, sorry, my mind's just gone completely blank, and also networking, that's the word I'm looking for. So there's this kind of, there could be this kind of push-pull energy going on, but I think more what I see this as is Uranus is going to be bringing surprises. So you could find that your day-to-day activities may not necessarily run as you plan during the course of December. They may not be completely smooth. You may have to make changes at the last minute because suddenly an opportunity comes up to network with somebody really important. There's an event and you've got to go to it, because if you don't, then you could miss out on an opportunity to really kind of connect with some big wigs in the industry you work in, perhaps, you know. Or perhaps the social circle you belong to, or places where you volunteer, give your time, the tribe that you belong to, suddenly kind of, you know, have something happen with them, and that pulls you away from that day to day. But all in all, there should be blessings in this. Uranus can bring blessings, although it's in opposition. The combination of planets, you know, Venus and Uranus, I think this is likely to be nice surprises, in terms of, you know, in terms of work, in terms of networking, in terms of putting your message out there. You may find that you are able to, I mean, say that you do something like, for instance, you have a YouTube channel, or you have something that involves social media, okay? You might come up with some really brilliant creative ideas to get your message out there and to put yourself out there. That's one possibility. I'm just trying to think of other possibilities as well. You could see unusual people coming into your workplace, rocking the boat in a way that is innovative and but good, you know, and positive as well. It can play out a number of ways. It's hard to know with Uranus because he's a planet of unpredictability. Right, okay, so as well as that, we also have, okay, and that's happening, sorry, up until about the 9th of December. And then from the 13th until the end of the month, we have a trine, once again, between Uranus and the Sun. So Uranus being in your 11th, okay, like I said, networking, social media, your friends, your kind of larger community, like the World Wide Web, you know, if you interact with people in that respect. So between there we have this trine happening, and your Sun in your 7th house. So, you know, I think you're going to be quite communicative. I think for those of you who are self-employed, who are entrepreneurs, this could be a really powerful time where I feel like you could be like a powerhouse of ideas this month, Gemini, of how we can expand, how we can move forward, how we can innovate, how we can make our business not only appeal to the collective, but also make our customers as individuals feel important, you know, so there may be a lot of energy going in there. Also, if you don't own your own business, you know, this could also see you meeting really interesting people, like expanding your circle, interacting with people who are unusual, who are different, who are progressive, maybe wanting to align yourself with humanitarian causes. And I would say that this would probably be, now that Mercury retrograde's done, this would be a great time to invest in electronics or any kind of technology that's to help you further your business, or for kind of PR use, or you know, kind of anything related to the internet, anything like that. I would say it'd be a really good time to buy those. And that's from the 13th until the end of the month. Now, as we move on to the end of the month, there are some lovely harmonious days. Boxing Day is a really nice day. There's some beautiful aspects going on there. We finish it up with this really nice, in my view, positive and healing energy. And after everything we've been through this year, we bloody deserve it, I think, you know, so it's really nice. Now I'm just going to finish by talking about the new moon and the full moon, and then we're going to move on to your tarot. Okay, so the new moon is happening in Sagittarius in your 7th house. So once again, we've got this emphasis on relationships, on your one-to-one relationship. So it's bringing fresh energy here. Okay, now there is a square happening, which means that there's tension between this new moon and your 10th house. Okay, we've got Mars there in the 10th, Neptune in the 10th, which will be very close together at some points during December. Mars and Neptune combined, it's like, Mars is about our energy and our drive and our focus and our will, and Neptune is far more spiritual. It's creative. It is the kind of energy that makes you just want to sit there and stare at the stars, or stop and just you know watch bees pollinating flowers, and you know and smell the roses. It's that kind of energy. So this could make you, if you're creative, this could be a great time to really bring your creativity into your work. Okay, or to think about how you want to be more creative in the world, how you want to implement more creativity, maybe even more spirituality or humanitarianism into the work that you do in the world. At the same time, this could also see you feeling a little bit like you don't know where to put your energy, feeling a bit dazed, a bit confused, feeling not necessarily scattering your energy, but just this sense of I don't know which direction to go in. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would just, at this new moon, you know, harness the energy creatively if you can, in a more spiritual way if you can. But it could be some tension between, you know, your commitments in terms of your relationships, and your work commitments as well, and feeling a little bit dazed and confused as to like who do I give this time to. Okay, and then we have a full moon. Oh, sorry, that new moon is on the 6th of December, and then on the 22nd of December we have a full moon in Cancer, and that's in your second house. So once again, this is talking about your finances. This is talking about your resources, your self-esteem as well, okay? So this full moon there is making a lovely sextile to Uranus in that 11th house of yours. So this could see the completion of a project which pays off really well and is received really well. This could also see a blessing, some sort of a surprise coming, maybe a windfall from a client that you've got, maybe like it's some sort of, I feel like some sort of blessing, some kind of good feeling as it relates to, and perhaps even monetarily, as it relates to networking, peer groups, and those kinds of things. So that's a really nice full moon that we finish off this year with. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your astrology, and I hope that made sense to you. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I have been away for a few months because I've had my own personal things and stuff to deal with, and all this retrograde energy. I knew I was going to have to take time out at the beginning of the year. I could feel it, that I just had to take a few months off. I think it's 4 months in total, just to recalibrate, and I have had a lot of change going on in my life, So it's really lovely to be back, and I hope to see a lot more of you guys in the new year. Thank you for supporting me, and please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this. Now on to your tarot, guys. Thank you very much. Hi Gemini, welcome to your December 2018 tarot reading for Gemini Sun, Moon and Rising. Okay, I really enjoyed doing your guys' astrology, I have to say. I don't know why, I just felt really at ease doing it, so maybe that's just a sign of the energy that's going to be coming through for you over the course of December. Who knows? Right, messages for Gemini for the month of December 2018. Okay. Alright. Okay, Gemini. Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse as your kind of starting point card. I hope you can see this crystal is probably in the way. Let me move it. Okay, so this is fire energy. This is fire energy that is kind of inverted. And you could be dealing with a fire sign, but this is interesting because of the fact that Jupiter has now moved into your opposite sign of Sagittarius. So this could well be to do with somebody who is a fire sign, so Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, or it could just be a sign of a bit more passion, a bit more focus, and more fire coming into your relationships and your one-to-one life. And there may be things that need to be resolved and sorted out there. You may need to have communications with this person, or it may be that your relationships, your one-to-one partnerships, that the dynamics need to be looked at and readjusted so that you can kind of be on the same page. Okay, so this is kind of showing up as a need for readjustment as it relates to your relationships, really. Okay, we've also got the Hierophant in reverse as well. Okay, this is interesting. So I don't know if some of you are feeling some sort of a blockage, which is interesting because when we looked at your astrology, we had Neptune and Mars in that 10th house very close together, which can sometimes be a feeling of not knowing how to move forward. So maybe some of you are feeling a slight there's a feeling of blockage. What I'm getting more as well is perhaps things had to be put on, perhaps things had to be put on hold with this person. If you have got a fire sign person in your life, maybe something had to be put on hold. Maybe there was something you were going to do. You were thinking about getting married, you're thinking about taking some concrete steps together, maybe moving in together, and you've had to review this in your personal life. Perhaps something came up, something to do with your partner, something to do with yourself. You started questioning the relationship, and now you're thinking, and you've had to think, okay, is this really what I want? Maybe something was put on hold, maybe something was ended, maybe plans to get married, plans to start a business partnership, plans to work together, plans to move forward in some sort of relationship or friendship have come to some sort of an end and a block. And that's possibly what this could be here. Right, let me see if we can get some more clarity on this. I feel like this is kind of speaking about the Venus retrograde period, you know, which was in, for you, your 5th house. So maybe there was stops and starts with your dating life, or, you know, your romantic life, or perhaps even, like I said, you know, your business. Let's see if we can get some, wow, loads of reversals, my gosh. Okay, all right. There's been like a desire for stability, or an offer of stability, of something concrete, or maybe a desire to make something concrete, which hasn't happened. And I feel like it's to do with, it's going to be different for all of you. For some of you, it will be a romantic relationship. I do feel strongly that it could be a romantic relationship for some of you. But some of you, it's a business partnership. Maybe, yeah, for some of you, it's a business partnership. For some of you, it's romantic, I feel. But there was a desire or a want to make something concrete, to put something in stone, whether it was to make something legal, to move something forward, to solidify something. But for some reason, this hasn't been a success, I feel. This was blocked, and the fact that we've got this fire energy coming up here is saying to me, okay, something needed to, there was something you didn't perhaps know about, or perhaps there was somebody else on the scene, I don't know. But there was some sort of obstacle which has prevented this from moving any further. And perhaps now with Jupiter coming into your 7th house, that freedom, because Jupiter represents freedom, maybe that freedom is that you are now single. Maybe you're now single and ready to mingle, and you're not wasting your time and your energy perhaps on this person anymore. For those of you who are in business, this could, I see a feeling of being blocked, maybe not having the finances, not having the support, not having the paperwork that you needed in order to be able to move forward and make it into a success. Okay, so this is interesting energy, so we're just going to pop that up there for the moment and see what else we get come through for you guys. I'm such a fiddler and squirmer. I move around so much, and I've noticed it when I watch my videos. Oh gosh, doesn't work. And it really annoys me. I just don't seem to sit still, especially when I'm presenting to people. I think it's got to be that Gemini in my 10th house, you know, just always moving about. Okay. Alright, so this is interesting. So yeah, there was something to do with being blocked. There was something that you weren't seeing. You were feeling trapped in a situation, feeling like there was no movement forward, and perhaps there were legalities in something. There was fine print that you didn't read that ended up tying you up, and that is why this has happened. Perhaps also you were in a relationship where you were feeling trapped, and maybe this Venus retrograde allowed you to really review and say, you know what, I need to move forward and I need to be free. Okay, for those of you who are quite happy and content in terms of your romantic relationships, I see this as being, you know, having to take a look at your own thoughts and how they hold you back, your own perceptions and how they hold you back and stop you from getting what it is you want. Okay, so this is, I like this because we've got, what have we got here? So we've got, yeah, the 8 of Swords. And then we've got, I love this card. Okay, so this is happiness, this is abundance, this is joy. So there's been this feeling of having to, something not working out is what I sense. And maybe at first feeling like you couldn't see the wood for the trees and you were just stuck in this situation. Okay, what you wanted was happiness, that happy ending, that completion. And that partnership and that joy and that feeling of, you know, everything has worked out successfully. Now, I feel personally, I'm getting the sense that this is actually speaking about the past. And I feel that this might be to do with what you've been through this year. Bear in mind, I've been away for a few months. So maybe we're talking about the last 4 months, which is how long I've been away. What you've had to contend with, not being able to move forward with certain things, having to review certain things, feeling like maybe business or relationship has had many obstacles to it. Perhaps you were denied a marriage license or something like that, you know, but I feel like, you know, this was you and this is how you were feeling and this is what you're aiming for. Now I think that this is on the horizon and I think this is coming up. But I think there's been a lot of growth and a lot of learning for you. This could be speaking as well about your 8th house, which is to do with investments. It's to do with legacies. It's to do with inheritances. So legacies, inheritance, investments, shared resources, joint finances, intimacy, sex, deep psychology, negative patterns, those kinds of things. Some of you may have had difficulties as it related to shared finances. Maybe you weren't able to get money out of some business or something, some resource that you share with somebody else. Maybe there were struggles with that, and you were having to contend with, you know, with Saturn there in the 8th as well, which restricts and blocks at times. Maybe you were having to contend with institutions, banks, lawyers, solicitors, that kind of thing, and feeling like you were just, what is the way out? What I want is this happy family. I want this peace and this nice ending. But how do we get there? So maybe that is what this blockage is about for some of you. Gosh, and here we go again. So this one's just fallen out. So there's the 2 of Swords. So this is making a choice, having to make a choice, but not knowing which direction to turn. You see how this is kind of mirrored. So it's this idea of not seeing, not being clear, not knowing which way to go. And I feel for a lot of you, you might be, this could be to do with your career, because like I said, Neptune is up there in that 10th house. Chiron's in the 10th house as well, along with Mars. And there could be a feeling of pain around career, rejection. Am I in the right career? I've been putting in so much work, but my efforts aren't being rewarded. I feel like I'm being blocked. The Hierophant there, you know, in reverse. I feel like I'm being blocked. And, you know, it's kind of 6th house we've got coming up here. I feel like I've been blocked. I feel like I've not been rewarded. I feel like I'm not being taken care of. You know, or rewarded for my efforts. I don't know which way to go, and it seems like there is it seems like there's no direction for me to turn, and you might be feeling a little bit not just disappointed, but like you're kind of starting to lose faith, or like you know, what's the point type thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I feel like this is what you're aiming for, I'm going to see what light the new moon is going to shed on the situation. Okay. What messages, what light, what insight and truth will the new moon bring to Gemini in the month of December 2018? What light, what truth, what healing, what messages and clarity will the new moon bring to Gemini in the month of December 2018? Okay, yeah, for some of you this is definitely to do with love, this is to do with emotions. Okay, this is a lack of love, a lack of appreciation, gifts not coming in. We've got so many reversals here, and making you feel uncertain about yourself. This is a lack of, what I want to say, I really do feel like some of you are going to get married. I feel like some of you are going to take things a step further, and this is what you were hoping for with somebody, and it just hasn't happened. Maybe there was another person involved in the situation. This is going to be a mixture. Like, I know I'm reading a real mix here, but yeah, maybe there was another person involved in the situation. For some of you, it's a case of not getting the appreciation and not getting the what's it called, accolades that you deserve, in a sense, for all the hard work that you've been doing. Ooh, what do you want to say? Okay, lovely. Okay, so Ace of Wands. So it's almost as though I really feel like this is what you guys have been through, and this is how it's left you feeling. But there is a reason for it, okay? And what I love about this as well, new moon in Sagittarius, okay, on the 6th of the month. Sagittarius is a fire sign, okay? So Ace of Wands is associated with fire. So I feel like at this new moon, this is an opportunity perhaps for something to be released and a new beginning for you, okay? A new beginning in terms of feeling passionate again, inspired again, in terms of feeling like you have your creative energy back and your zest for life. All right, so I think that there will be a turnaround, but quite often for us to get to these places, we have to sometimes go through really dark times. We have to go through confusion and fog and not know which way to go. And I mean, to admit you're lost is the first step to being found. If you know you're lost, then at least you know where you are, in a weird way, if that makes sense. If you know you're lost, you know you're lost. If you don't know you're lost, that's even worse, because you can continue down the wrong path. And I think that's perhaps what was happening here. Not that there's ever a wrong path, but something kind of came along and said, no, there has to be a stop put to this situation, whether it was a work situation where you just weren't getting the praise or the approval, whether it was romance, whatever it might have been. It was a requirement for it to finally end, okay? Right. Okay, so Ace of Wands, Hanged Man, Knight of Wands. Okay, so this is a little bit, let me just move these up. So this is almost a little bit counterintuitive, but what I feel is during the month, I mean, this is the month of December we're definitely talking about here now. We've got fire and fire, we've got the Hanged Man in the middle. So, you know, I said to you at the beginning of the reading, I've got this feeling of ease with Gemini. I feel like you are, I don't know if some of you are coming out of this period of confusion and fog. I feel like you are now kind of letting the lessons of the year, letting the learning of the year sink in, and you're just kind of chilling out like this dude, like, okay, that's cool, I've learned a lot, I've grown an awful lot, okay? Let me just think where that retrograde was from your 9th and 10th house. Yeah, I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot as a result. My vision, my understanding of myself has expanded, and what I want and what I desire has expanded. I'm letting that all integrate, which is wise, okay? And I'm coming into December, I'm embracing that fire energy, that inspiration, okay? And things are going to start moving quickly for me. And I feel towards as we get into the new year, and as we get out of Mars in Pisces season, okay, so as we get into January, the beginning of January, I feel like, Gemini, you're gonna just be rushing along. Not rushing along in a bad way, but you're just going to be like, it's like when you let a horse out the gate and it just, you know, it just bolts out. That's what your energy is going to be like. But it's kind of cool because it's like you're taking your time to absorb all of the understandings, all of the lessons that have happened this year, after maybe some time of confusion, knowing what it is that you want to go for, but allowing it to just incubate whilst making plans. I think the new moon would be a great time to make plans about the year ahead. And I would like you to focus on what inspires you. Don't just focus on money and love and, you know, this is what I want from my love life, this is what I want from my financial. Think about it in a way that is actually a lot more personal to you. What makes you feel inspired in life? How can you incorporate that into your life? Whether it is more travel, whether it is more freedom in your day-to-day life, whether it is whatever it might be. What makes you feel inspired in your relationships? Bring that into your relationships. Okay, think about things like inspiration, creativity, motivation, those kinds of things. And what motivates you, what inspires you. And maybe I would even write down what inspires you, what your values are, what motivates you, what you kind of couldn't live without having in your life. Like for instance, for me, I could not stop learning. If someone said to me, you will never learn another thing again as of tomorrow, I would say, well, you may as well just kind of like stick me in some home then, because that's just ridiculous and I'm not going to be happy, you know. That for me is a huge thing. That inspires me. Growth, learning, sharing what I know with people inspires me. So think about those things and how can you incorporate them into your life so that moving forward, your life is a picture of the things that matter most to you. Okay, this is really Jupiter and Sagittarius energy, and I like it a lot for you. Oh, hello. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Swords here as well, which is nice. So this is mental clarity. So after this period of confusion, which often happens, you know, when we've been through so much in a year, after this period of confusion, and look at this, I love this. So like, it's like it's like bookends, isn't it? Two aces. So you're becoming mentally clear. I feel like fire and air, you know, air feeds fire. You're going to start to pick up the pace as we get into the new year. You're going to start to really, I think, come into your own. And some of you, I think, might change professions. Some of you may start something completely new. Well, I want it not completely new. You start something new, but based off of what you already know, the wisdom you already know, the knowledge you already have, the education you already have, maybe the work experience you already have, but you're going to take it into a new area of life, I feel. And for some of you, I really do see you starting to work in healing professions. I see some of you working in psychology. And there's something I can't put my finger on. Some of you are going to be doing something really, really different and quite, I feel like this kind of Geminis might be, some Geminis are going to be at the forefront of a different type of therapy, I feel. I don't know, maybe it's not a therapy, but something, maybe it's something technological, I don't know, there's something, and I felt it when I was doing your astrology reading. Some Geminis are going to be doing some really interesting and unusual things, whether it's as a sideline project, whether it's whether it's creatively, whether it's, you know, your own business. Some of you are going to be doing some really, really unusual and interesting stuff, and I think it's going to be really good. I almost feel, in a way, Gemini, so I feel like this is going to be the inevitable result of you focusing on the things that inspire you and matter to you most. So it's almost like you don't reach this just by aiming for this, you know, like by thinking, okay, I want the house, I want the perfect, you know, I want my dream home, I want my dream lover, I want my dream children, I want my dream amount of money. It's like you don't reach it by thinking that laterally and that simply. You reach it by actually choosing what inspires you, what motivates you, what makes you get out of bed in the morning. And this ends up being a natural byproduct of this. Does that make sense? It does to me. Yeah. Okay. I really like this for you. I think I'm going to pull a few more. We're getting busy here. My tiny, tiny table. I need to get a bigger table. I feel like a lot of people have felt like this, you know, Gemini. I really do. I think a lot of people have felt that way this year. I know I certainly have at times, you know, as well. Okay. Right. Okay. So, excuse the messiness of all of this. So we've got Temperance in reverse. So balance is what it's about. I think perhaps there's been a lot of focus, whether it's been on an individual in your life or on work. Balance is what it's about. And Temperance in reverse kind of speaks to me of that North Node moving into Cancer. And, you know, although this isn't the Cancer card, it makes me think, you know, life is about balance. We have to take care of ourselves in order to take care of others. We have to make sure that our home life is good, not just our work life. We have to not overgive to others. We also have to keep some for ourselves. So perhaps this is a lesson that you've... So sorry, Gemini, my camera just cut out towards the end of that reading there, and then I went to look and I thought, oh my god, I've lost the whole reading. Luckily, I was right at the end. So what was I saying to you? So I was basically saying that this King of Cups energy, let me just find the cards again. This King of Cups energy, to me, feels like somebody who might invest in you. A mentor, a guide, some sort of authority figure who might lead you, maybe if you're moving into a new industry, career-wise, you know, somebody like that. It could also be a connection with a father figure, an investment from a father figure. Somebody, you know, who you'd look at as being that way. I can't find the cards for some reason. Where are we? But I was also struck by the fact that I had that strong feeling come back again, which was that some of you will be partnering with, or perhaps, yeah, some of you will be partnering with somebody business-wise, in a venture that is interesting, it's creative, it's innovative and quite unique. And I would really love for you guys, if that's the case, for you to comment below so that I know, because I really get the strong feeling that some Geminis are going to be involved in some really, there we go, in something really, really different and really special. Okay, for some of you, could see you gaining through a partnership, financially, materially. There could be a moving forward with somebody and investing with somebody. I do feel some of you do have a chance of definitely, starting a long-term commitment with a foreigner, with somebody from abroad, and perhaps this will bring new opportunities to make money, and perhaps this will be somebody who you don't just have a romantic partnership with, but you also have a business partnership with. So that's interesting. Right, okay. I hope that made sense, guys, and sorry for that cut off there. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the new year, and Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas for those of you who celebrate it. Look out for my yearlies. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you like my videos, and you'll be seeing much more of me. Much love, guys. All right, bye.